Hey all, welcome to the Hardly Adequate podcast, or the Hardly a Week one, where we're going through a short series of checking for activity if you've been cyberstalked and kind of what you can do with that. So this week I caught up with my friend and we went through their accounts and looked to back some stuff up and looked through security logs. So I just wanted to go through that. It was on Wednesday. And what I wanted to talk about was, I guess, things that I learned was make sure that when you're doing this stuff to log into all your accounts first and make sure you have the logins before you get someone to come and help. We spent a lot of time recovering passwords because this particular friend has quite a lot of accounts. So there was just a lot of time spent doing that, which could have been used elsewhere. We did go through for all the Apple accounts and the Google accounts and made sure we added their MFA for their phone numbers. We removed any authenticator apps that we weren't really sure of, and then we re-added a new authenticator app for all of those. So we just used Google Authenticator. What else did we do? We went through the security logs. So we looked for recently logged in devices just to see if there was anything that kind of stood out of the ordinary. There was some weird logins really early on before they went through and changed all their passwords. So it was really important that we changed all the passwords and added the MFA. And it's also important to note that with Google, you only get 28 days worth of history if you're just a general consumer account. There will likely be more history if you had a corporate account, but most people don't have that. We're talking more about individuals here. So it's important that if you are looking at that, you go through the last 28 days quite regularly if you're going through this kind of thing and just recording that evidence that you've got. The other thing that we looked at was Google location history. So we stepped through the timeline, which you can only access on the devices themselves now, so usually on the mobile app, and looked for any activity that would have indicated someone signing in or someone particularly past that 28 days where we didn't have the Google security logs. So that's another thing that you could use. The other thing that I did check was I went into the Gmail and the Apple email, I guess, that was associated with those IDs, even though they don't use Apple email. I went through all the Gmail. I went to the main settings there, so you can Google this and see how to do it. And I'll put a write-up later on the website once it's updated. But I went through and checked for anything that showed whether mail was being forwarded, whether there was any blocked addresses, anything weird in the settings that the user themselves wouldn't have put in. And I had my friend right there to kind of confirm anything that I did find. Now, I didn't find anything, and this isn't a huge issue going forward because we're actually going to migrate to a completely new Gmail account, but it was more just to see if any emails were automatically being deleted or whether they were being forwarded somewhere else. There was none of the MFA that was pushed to the emails either, so that's fine. That's all pushed to the mobile, and now the authenticator app that we have. And then I also went through and just looked for connected apps, mainly in Google. So they quite heavily use that as their main source of social media and communication. So went through and looked for connected apps to things like YouTube or the browsers, anything that could be strange. Now, this can be quite a daunting task when you don't know what is strange and what is not. And that's where reading the cybersecurity kind of advice is go find a professional to help you go through this. Once we kind of sorted out, they still need to pass off some of their evidence to the police. So we didn't reset any of the devices. We didn't do too much. We just got into the accounts, reset the MFAs, checked that no one was in the accounts, and then they're going to go and talk to the police again and hand off some of that evidence. But once that's done, then we'll go through resetting the accounts, and we can put some more guides up on the website for that. But that's the update for this week. So hopefully today, I spoke to them today, Monday the 15th of July. They are going to talk to the police again today, hopefully hand off the evidence, get their devices done. They also had another issue is they've got two different accounts for iCloud and they wanted to back up iMessages. Now, I couldn't help them with this because I didn't fully understand how the process would affect a single device. So what they want to do is they've got two old iPhones, both with separate iMessages, with separate iCloud accounts, and they want to merge them and back them up onto a single device so they have that all on their new device. Now, I don't know whether that's possible. And Apple now in Australia doesn't have iCloud geniuses that help with software in the stores, which is I found interesting. You have to call them up and get the help that way. So they're going to contact them and try and get some help that way. I may need to be there for that to help them with some of the technical steps, but hopefully they're okay, and I'll get some feedback on that, on how that process went. And then there'll be another meetup where we go through and back up some more stuff and start resetting the devices. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up of what's been happening. And yeah, hopefully if you're following this along, you found it useful. You can grab more content from my website, hardlyadequate.com. If you want to support, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and go back and watch the past series for these. I won't update the description at the moment because I'm traveling for work, so I'm visiting family. But if you wait a week, I'll update all the description with the details, and I'll get around to doing the templates for the website and everything as well. So yeah, hopefully you guys find this interesting. Please support by subscribing, or there's other ways you can support if you check out my website as well. But I'll catch you all next week, and I hope you all have a great week this one. See yous.